Netherlands. I got second at the OTS Championship in Antwerp this last weekend with Yummy. Let's just get into it. Shout out to the boys. Yeah, for the monsters, played 3 Cupsy, 3 Lollipo, 2 Cookie. Yeah, Cupsy goes without saying. Like the 2 Cookie is a bit weird, and I'm not entirely sure if it was correct. I did have a bit of a consistency issue. I was trying to cut down on the normal summon that are mediocre going second, but yeah, not sure if it was the right call. I definitely have to adjust some things in this deck regarding consistency. Then, yeah, the 2 field spells. I did play a Croaky and Mignon both. Yeah, Mignon goes without saying. A Croaky also goes without saying. I really don't get the idea that like you would only play one of the field spells. A lot of stuff in the deck stops making sense without this. And also just that last interrupt you get off of this really does feel necessary. It doesn't just feel like a skill is shooting. Like you really do need this into a lot of stuff. Then 3 Yummy Surprise. Yeah. They used to be on 1, then I was on 2, and then I figured whenever I draw this with Engine, I just win. Like, I just want to see this card all the time. It doesn't do anything on its own, obviously, but like there's just so many scenarios where like the stuff that should have beat you, a lot of like supposed hard Yummy counters and like hand trap strategies, like people trying to cut you off of this, don't work just because you happen to hard draw one of these. So yeah, good card. And 2 Puri Rise Map, it's basically 2 extra copies of Cupsy Yummy. Draw isn't really in the formats, and draw is kind of whatever against this deck anyway, so people aren't really going to be siding it against you. Yeah, there's just such a big difference between Cupsy and the other 2, and the life point cost doesn't really matter with the way the format usually pans out. Oop. The preview. Yeah, then 3 Obedience Cult. Summon 3 from deck is a pretty good effect, I think. Although I will say, when I start with this and Cupsy in my hand, post-siding I will usually elect to normal the Cupsy instead of activating this. Like, you're gonna trade pretty well into hand traps at that point anyway, and the like Obedience Cult, on top of playing into stuff like Contact C pretty hard, which I do think is going to become a lot more popular, you also don't get to end on Herald of the Arclight, which post-siding is a pretty big deal. But it obviously is still like an insane starter, and going second, it's just the absolute GOAT cards. Then 1 Engage, 1 Hornet Drones. This should have been more. And like, it used to be 2, but yeah, it's probably gonna go up to 3, because it like, even though you have the conflict with Purge, and even though it feels really annoying to draw multiples, it's still just such a good combination with your engine cards. Like, I think I just got a bit emotional about just losing going second because my only engine was engaged when I activated Purge, etc., etc. But that's just stuff you have to accept with Yu-Gi-Oh! I think on average this will help you win a lot more games than it will block you from. Then yeah, for the non-engine, Purge, Ash Blossom. Yeah. Like, yeah, Purge doesn't conflict with the actual engine itself for the most part. And yeah, Ash is Ash Blossom, checks Charmies, cut off whatever thing you don't want to deal with from the deck you're facing, into most decks anyway. And it's also, both these cards are really good into a lot of the boards at the moment. Like, Vanquisher will often actually have to rely on making their board on your turn, and being able to Purge or Ash at a good momentary if you have a read that they really need that part of the setup to resolve can be devastating. And also into Draco Tail, yeah, obviously stopping Ketu Draco Tail when they're going second into you is just absolutely mandatory. You probably lose the game on the spot if Ketu resolves. and it also lets you negate the traps, which, you know, those are, especially Draco Tail Horn can often just be game on its own, so having ways to check those is a pretty big deal. Then 3 Imperm, you know, similar to Ash and Perch, like it has used both going first and second, and yeah, Imperm also, you know, turns on Purge's pop effect, which, like, Purge feels like a worse Ash until Imperm's engraved, and then it just feels like a totally unreasonable card. 3 Droplets, similar to Imperm, except it's a bit more skewed for going second rather than going first. But yeah, I feel like I want to make a big explanation about this card, but you know what Droplet does. You know it's good. And then 3 songs. Yeah, and I guess I should also like show this alongside it. Like, I am playing 5 Monster Hand Traps alongside Songs of the Dominators. It seems scary, but in practice, the conflict really is not that big of a deal. And like, Songs generally is good enough, I feel, to warrant like risking the conflict. The fact that it's a good stop deck is a really really big deal. And like, even though like with Ash it is definitely like you definitely can't do Ash and Songs within the same 2 turns, but these 2 you actually can. Like, you just activate the Nip first. Then Talents, Prosperity, Called by the 3 Horsemen. Yeah, Consistency, Stop Charmies, and Look at Hand. Yeah. That's the main deck, clean 40. Apparently some people are going over 40 with this deck, I don't really get it, but yeah, people can do whatever they want, I guess. And for the extra deck, 3 Snatchy. I mean, yeah. Like, you often go through 3 in like normal lines. Like, it's not like, I don't think you ever cut down on this unless you're playing some kind of weird hybrid deck. Then 1 of each Synchro, unless Unicorn is in the format. I don't think you should ever really consider playing more than 1 of these. Like, they just, you know, like they just recycle themselves. So you don't like it's what, like, the resource loop just works. Then Martial Mother Marchers, the Starham, and Herald of the Arclight. Yeah, just ways of retaining value while claiming to Arclight. This one also, in theory, lets you make second Arclight on your opponent's turn, but I'm only on 1. Then the Link ones, yeah. Kagari, no explanation. Anima, I'm not on that many hand traps, so I played it over Almirage. Link Spider, Nip Shenanigans, makes sense. And then SP, Ukanomitsune no Inari as the 2 remaining links. Yeah, SP is the strongest card, so you should consider it. And Ukanomitsune no Inari, yeah, just recycling not just Yumi Surprise, but also stuff like Called By and Forbidden Droplet is very nice. And this is also actually a time win condition, because you can make Herald of the Arclight, then make this, activate its effect, negate it with your own Arclight, and since it's destroyed, it will burn for 1500. And it does also have the targeting protection for the field spell, which, I mean, it doesn't matter that much, but it is a nice additional bit of security. And then the final cards, Typhon. There's like quite a few occasions where you just get to put Typhon on like a Cookie Yummy, since like if you end on for example Cups Yummy Way, this guy has 0 attack. You can just put it on like either Lollipop or Cookie who you want in the grave anyway. So just Cookie, detach, and now you suddenly have a Typhon that doesn't like impede you in any way while your opponent is stuck dealing with it. But yeah, nothing too crazy, I think. And then for the side deck, 3 Lancia. I was gonna say format tax, but we've actually kind of gotten to a point where it's actually kind of possible to cut this. But yeah, this weekend I matched into like 4 or 5 Malice. Like, it was actually the deck I ran into the most. That being said, I only saw Lancia like once all weekend, even though they're like all the Malice games went to game 3, I think. So Yeah. And yeah, 3-4 loss. This is still like one of the safest cards going second. Like, yes, it feels awful if it gets ashed or whatever, but like, once again, like if you didn't have a ANTWERP at that point, they had they would have had the ash on top of it, and ash makes breaking boards pretty annoying. And then yeah, lots of good backrow in the format, combines well with droplets. Yeah, just like a lot of cases I feel where if you draw like ash plus this, like there's just like one thing you need to ash so you can be sure that this will actually have an impact. You know, it's just nice. 3 Solemns. No. And then I guess the spiciest, quote-unquote, card of this side deck is a Mistaken Arrest. You may think like, why not Droll, but this this is how to say it. Like, I think going second into Mitsurugi, it's kind of a bust anyway. I don't think you can realistically win that matchup. So just maximizing your ability to win going first is a pretty big deal. But also, Ketu Draco Tail resolving is just devastating, and this card gets to stop that. But yeah, that being said, it worked really well on Dueling Book, and I didn't draw it at all going first during the OTS Championship, so who knows. But yeah. That was the deck profile. Think all in all, aside from like the PRI's map stuff and not maxing out on the names, was pretty standard. But yeah, shoutouts to Dennis, Dave, Gus, Casper, Aki, and my cats, I guess. Bye bye.